Well, May is here, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for Horror Mayhem yet again. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. You're with Chris, and today I'll be officially launching Horror Mayhem on the channel. I was going to start last week and get a bit of a head start, but it turns out I was seduced by a certain book called Words of Radiance by Mr. Brandon Sanderson, the second book in the Stormlight archive. I made a deal with myself last week that I'll spend the whole week reading this and managed to get to the 62% mark of this 1300 page tome, and I'm absolutely loving it. Now, even though I'm committing to Horror Mayhem and plan on completing my reads, in between I will be reading Words of Radiance whenever I can because I'm absolutely addicted to it. It is one of the best books I have ever read, but that's a story for another time. Today it's all about Horror Mayhem. So let's talk about what the first prompt is for week one, and that is local horror, which can be defined in a number of ways. It could be an author who works in your area who wrote horror fiction. It could be a local folk tale or legend in your area that was made into a story, or it could even be a true crime story in your area as well. Sometimes it's not going to be easy to pick something in your immediate vicinity, but there is a lot wider scope there. You can actually branch out a little bit more, and that's what I did with one of my picks. Okay, now the format of Horror Mayhem for me, I'm going to be doing 2 videos per week. The first video will be posted at the start of the week where I go into a bit more detail about what I have picked. I gloss over everything in my announcement video that I did some time ago. And I thought, well, why not do a video at the start of the week where I go into a bit more detail on what I'm reading, read the cover synopses to you, and give my thoughts and impressions and expectations about what my reads are and how I will feel about them. And then the second video will be released at the end of the week, wrapping everything up, telling you about what I thought of each read and how I went in general. So it's a pretty good format where there will be 2 videos a week, which will be 8 videos for the month, which is going to be great. Okay, so let's go with what I picked. Now I've got 2 short novels here. The first one I've got is Picnic at Hanging Rock by Joan, Lindsay, which is based on a local legend located 52 kilometres from me at Hanging Rock, and I've always been in the back of my mind curious about what the story's about and wanted to find out more. Here's my opportunity to do that. So here's what it's about. If her terrified cries had been heard by anyone but a wallaby squatting in a clump of bracken a few feet away, the picnic at Hanging Rock might yet have been just another picnic on a summer's day. On a cloudless day in 1900, a group from Appleyard College for Young Ladies goes for a picnic. In the heat of the afternoon sun, 3 girls climb through the scrub and disappear. Ethereal and enigmatic, Picnic at Hanging Rock has been haunting the Australian imagination for half a century. So what happened? I'm going to find out. And it should be a pretty good read. It was written in the 60s, I think, so it's been produced as a Penguin Orange classic as well. So it does have some standing amongst the literary community, and it's going to be a very interesting read. Something different to what I normally read, let me tell you, and I'm pretty optimistic about it, and hopefully I will enjoy it. The second pick I have is another Australian one, which is Wake in Fright by Kenneth Cook. Now this one is a book that we were required to study in school all those years ago, and I'd forgotten all about it. I sort of remember a couple of things, and it was made into a feature film in the 70s as well. I haven't actually seen the adaptation. I might have to watch that after reading this book, but I'm expecting it to be very atmospheric and showcasing how bleak and hot the Australian outback is. Now I'll read what this one's about. Wake in Fright tells the tale of John Grant's journey into an alcoholic, sexual and spiritual nightmare. It is the original and greatest outback horror story. Bundan Yabba and its citizens will forever haunt its readers, so it's appropriate for the project. This edition includes an introduction by Peter Temple and an afterword by David Stratton. It was made into a film in 1971, arguably the greatest film ever made in Australia. So Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's only a short book of 200 pages. I should smash through it in 1 or 2 sittings, which means that I've got a bit more time for Words of Radiance, or I might just pick up another collection. I'm not sure, but it certainly sounds really good. And the John Grant is a teacher who teaches in an outback school, and he's due to go home to Sydney, but on the way he stops in at this local pub, and the town locals actually put him through the ringer, and by the end of it apparently he's left with nothing, and homeless and broke and drunk and drugged, I think. So it's going to be a bit of an eye-opener, and something a little bit different that I don't normally read. And I have had this book for a little while. I did buy it a few months ago, and now I've got an excuse to read it. So that is it for my week 1 preview for Horror Mayhem. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Offer up any comments below. As per usual, I'll always respond to that and deliver the best content I can. But until the next video, guys, which won't be far away, happy reading.